Assalamu alaikum. Let's cook. Check, people. This guy by the name of Edward Gene Smith, 50-year-old black man in New York City, he really took this white man stuff too far. He thought he was a white man. He started doing white man stuff, probably thought he would get away with it like a white man. Ain't work out for him. And I'm reading from the New York Post. Check. A former Citigroup bigwig was sentenced to 30 years in prison Tuesday after admitting to drugging and R-wording women, multiple women, in his Lux Central Park South digs and blaming his autism for the sinister sex crimes. Harvard-educated Edward Gene Smith, 50, called his autism spectrum disorder the primary driver of a decade-long reign of terror, a claim Manhattan federal prosecutors called inflammatory nonsense as they described the chilling notes he kept to document his attacks. Smith recorded one of his depraved assaults in April 2023 when he R-worded an incapacitated woman after drugging her with a laced drink, according to his guilty plea in January. He then shared the footage with other deviants on an encrypted platform. The ex-Wall Street hotshot was arrested in 2024 after working at several banks and rising through the ranks at Citigroup to become a managing director. He repeatedly drugged and R-worded a colleague student he convinced to move to New York City in 2019, according to his sick admission. Smith separately kept a twisted trove in his Manhattan rental apartment of tens of thousands of images of small people being sexually abused and paid one of his victims thousands of dollars to sign a phony letter of support, according to Manhattan U.S. Attorney Jay Clayton. The disgraced former bank bigwig kept extensive notes planning how he would torture and punish his victims, prosecutors said. Edward Gene Smith is a sexual predator and a serial rapist, Clayton said in a statement. He spent years hiding behind wealth, education, and status while he committed egregious sexual crime. He is now where he belongs, in prison, Clayton said. After pleading guilty, Smith brought up his autism spectrum disorder, or ASD, in a bid to convince Judge Paul Engelmayer to hand him a more lenient sentence. Mr. Smith's autism, or ASD, is the primary driver of his offense conduct. It is the reason that his interactions cross the line from legal, if unorthodox, to criminal, defense lawyer Donna Newman wrote to the court earlier this month. The Ivy League graduate was devastated to learn that his understanding of his relationships with the women he thought of as his girlfriends was wrong, and that they experienced their encounters with him as non-consensual sexual abuse and even rape, his attorneys added. Prosecutors shot back that Smith had made an offensive smear to those in the autism community while shrinking responsibility for the shocking crimes, which unfolded from as early as 2015 to 2024 when he was busted. There can be no mistake. The defendant knew exactly what he was doing when he drugged and sexually abused his victims. He knew exactly what he was doing when he sought out, downloaded, collected, and organized horrific images of the sexual abuse of children. And he knew exactly what he was doing when he paid a woman that he raped to cover up his crimes, says the Manhattan U.S. Attorney. Smith has a wife, Heather Rogers, who he married in 2012, according to his lawyers. Rogers lives in South Carolina in a home the feds are attempting to seize in order to provide restitution to his victims, court papers show. Smith had reached out to the victims on online platforms where he pursued sugar dating relationships, telling the women he would pay them to act out his sexual fantasies, his lawyers wrote. Even before he married Heather, Edward had begun looking for sexual partners who would engage in sexual activities he had viewed on the internet, including his drunk girl fantasy in which his partner would consume copious quantities of alcohol before intercourse, his attorney said. And people right after that, of course, he was fired by Citi and whatever. you know, he's done. People, I don't think this guy is making it out of the New York State Penitentiary. With the charges he has and that kind of time, I don't see how somebody like him could survive and make it out of there, unless he definitely turns into a woman. I know this sounds kind of far-fetched to a lot of people, but it's not. The only way I could see this dude making it up out of there, or even, and he probably still won't make it out, but just, I don't know, lasting a few years, he would definitely have to be under the protection of somebody. You know, this is nut stuff right here. This dude, he made tons of money, thought he was somebody. He looks like a kind of guy that you just wouldn't want to talk to if you met him. He's got that butthole look to me. From people that I've met, I'm just gathering from his look. A lot of times I could tell, you know, from people's look, you know, don't mean I'm going to act a certain way when I meet him. I'm just going to go ahead and let it play out and be like, okay, yeah, let me add that to the database. He has that look. And then when you look at his education and everything, he got the big time job. He got the white wife, you know, she already has white children. He's with her. This guy was disgusting, man. This guy was disgusting, yo. He really thought he was a white man. He really was believing that white man stuff, yo. Guys like this is an example of why I don't go clicking like and getting happy when I see this black excellence stuff. You know, he's one of those guys who graduated from an Ivy League school, big time job. He's the type of guy that you'll probably see on all kinds of black platforms, you know, saying how great he is and he did this and this and that, and he's going to be the first great. When I see this now, people, I hate to be Mr. Krabs. I don't even get all like, oh, wow, because I got to wait and see what you're going to do. Good for you. You know what I mean? I ain't knocking you or what you getting or what you going to do for your family and improve your life, but I'm not into that no more. When I see the whole thing, when they show all the black doctors from Morehouse and the boys walking around, a lot of them duck walking, by the way, a lot of them duck walking, and they show they're all going to be future doctors. I'm like, okay, good for them, but I'm just too old. I got to wait and see. You know what I mean? I ain't getting all black excellence, all that, whatever, because you can't be that unless you're going to be an asset to your people and your community. And guys like this clearly was nothing. He probably wasn't even an asset to his black family, wherever he might come from. I don't know where he's from. I think he was living in Oklahoma, but come on, man.
What's your honest opinion? How do you feel when you see a black man walking down the street with a white woman?
I don't. Honestly, I know enough about genetics. Honestly, I know enough about genetics. You can't poison yourself and then laugh at me about it. You're not hurting me having that white woman. There are more white women than there are black men. If you understand anything about math, you can't push a negative into a positive and get a positive result. They're shredding your genetics. That's why they call them mud sharks. They're shredding your genetics.
So a white woman who dates a black man, she's a mud shark because she's eating up our genetics?
Basically,
I thought y'all called them mud sharks because they just playing in the mud, supposed to be playing in the dirt, be supposed to be dirty, supposedly.
Nah, man. They're shredding your genetics, man. They're shredding your genetics. Every generation of blacks is lighter than the last. You're not getting darker. You're having more and more pink and beige babies. You're having a whole lot of people that look like me tell you that they're black now. And y'all are falling for it. Y'all let a white woman get to the top of the NAACP.
I want your honest.
Link in the description to the masterpiece, The N-Word is No Secret in the Service. Also, link for the email list so that you know where the content is if YouTube start doing their YouTube thing. Easy.